exactly what you want to see. Let's run this puppy in. Score a touchdown and tie this game. Life, run for your life, touchdown on one play. Worked on this in practice. Touchdown. What's up to Kelvin Benjamin? This is all you, buddy. Kelvin Benjamin for a touchdown. Oh, he toasted his man. Holmes toasted his man. Spin move. Oh! Oh! What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video here in the Water Juice channel, and welcome to what seems like has been forever since they announced it. We are finally getting the scouting update. That's right, it dropped today, and now we can use it. I am so excited to actually get my hands on the scouting update because we've gone through so many different articles on their website and so many different blog posts and tweets and all kinds of different things about this update, getting the hype, trying to build it up, and now we actually get to use it. Now, I know it's been a long time coming and it's been delayed heavily, but it is finally here and I'm excited for it. I'm actually hyped to see how good or how bad this may be. So if you guys are as hyped as I am to see the scouting update, make sure to smash that like button, notification bell, and the subscription button as well. Join the Juice Club. Let's get into the video. Now, here we are. When you load up a new franchise, remember, this scouting update does not allow you to continue franchises that you already have started before the update. So let's say, for example, my Chicago Cougars franchise, when I load up and play my next game, will not have this scouting update. It will be the exact same file that we had before the update. And same goes for that Patriots rebuild that I was doing, and same goes for any other franchise that was made post or pre-update. It will not have it in. We talked about this before. It sucks, but it's just the way things go. So make sure that you have no attachment to your previous franchises, because unless you want to just keep playing with the old version of the update or the old version of the scouting, then go ahead. That's what I'm going to do with the Cougars. I'm going to keep playing as if no update ever happened, and we're going to keep going with that because I'm actually having a lot of fun playing with that. So the Cougars will go on pre-update, and I will start my Legends series here pretty soon, which I'm super excited about. That is going to get started up because this is the latest it's ever been started, because I've been waiting for not only the roster, but I've been waiting for this update to happen. So that Legends series is going to start up pretty soon. I'm super excited about that. We're going to get into that pretty soon, but we're still finalizing the roster right now. But now to the actual update. So this is on PS5. It's only for, I'm pretty sure it's only for next-gen consoles, PS5, Xbox Series X, or Series S, whatever the Xbox one. I have no idea. The newest Xbox, whatever it is. It's not for PC. It's not for old gen consoles. That sucks if you have that, but that's just the way the world's working right now. Nobody cares about the old gen. Everybody wants new stuff. So I wish PC would get the update. I don't think they will. They might. I haven't actually got on my PS or my PC version and seen if they have the update yet or not. So this is actually the first time that I've ever seen the update. So that's a lie. I watched Bengal's video that he did yesterday when he got early access to it. So if you want to go watch a better video than what this is going to be, go watch Bengal. His link probably won't be in the description, but just type in Bengal on YouTube. You know, if you're watching my channel, you obviously know who Bengal is, so you don't need a link. So let's get into the actual video. So when you first load up and you start in the preseason, you will get this first thing that says hire and assign scouts. So we are gonna do that. I just loaded up the Patriots because they're my favorite team. So I just loaded up the Patriots. This is a normal thing. So we have prospects, scouts, region breakdown, and mock drafts. And the only thing that is unlocked currently is scouts. So we need to hire some scouts to be able to scout the players that we want to draft. So we have my scouts, which are these guys. There's a couple tier ones. I think there's only 3 tiers. There's 1, 2, and 3. So you want to take that into account. I don't think these guys cost anything to buy. I think you can literally swap in and out. Like, I don't think they have a price tag or anything. So I think you just swipe it, and if you wanted to get all tier 3 guys, I think that's possible. But if we wanted to go to free agent scouts, you can obviously fire guys and hire guys. And you may notice some of these guys have are like real people, like Tiki Barber's here, TJ Houshmandzadeh, Sean Alexander, like there's Rodney Harrison, Richard Seymour, Reggie Wayne. There's like, we talked about this in the one of the videos I did before the game actually launched when we were talking about the scouting update. And I saw that they had like Julian Edelman in there, and I was like, are you going to be able to have actual real players? And it looks like that you can. So you can, if you want to have TJ Houshmandzadeh be your wide receiver coach or your wide receiver scout, you can hire him here. So maybe we do that. We hire TJ Houshmandzadeh. I need to fire, let's see, who's my wide receivers? Oh, I need to fire, let's fire Gregory White. He's a tight end coach from the Northeast. We'll fire him, and we go to TJ Houshmandzadeh, and we hit triangle on him, and we confirm it. Unable to hire. Each scout has a tier from 1 to 3. When replacing, you must. Oh, okay. So I didn't know that. So I fired a tier 1 scout. So it looks like we just found out our first debunking. So you can't have tier 3. You can't have that. You have to, if you fire a tier 1 scout, you have to replace him with another tier 1 scout, or same vice versa with 2s and 3s. So that's good to know. I did not know that. So now we have to go in here and we have to look for a tier 1 scout from a different region or for a different position. Is there any actual real players that have tier 1 on them? I don't think they are. So we'll pick a random tier 1 scout, Pedro Sanchez. Sure, you're lucky. You're the lucky guy. You're in here. Then we go to, let's fire Aaron Campbell and hire, because we already have a middle linebacker scout, so let's fire him. He was a tier 3, so now we can go and find any tier 3 guys like Richard Seymour or TJ Houshmandzadeh, which, you know what, we were going to already sign him, so let's hire TJ Houshmandzadeh. And you can do this with whoever you want. It doesn't really matter. Left guard, Mark Collins. He has a second position expertise of right guard. So that's also key. You want to hire guys that have, more than likely, you want to hire guys that have 2 different position expertise, because not only will they give you better boosts on the first position expertise, they will also have a better boost on the second one. So we have this guy, Mark Collins. If we wanted to hire somebody else, we could hire somebody else if we really, really want. Is that Rondé Barber too? Did I see Rondé Barber? Yeah, Rondé Barber. So Tiki and Rondé. A lot of these guys, there's a lot of guys that have 2 different positions as their expertise, which is really, really cool. I like that a lot. So we're going to see Brian Arakpo's here as well, and Aqib Talib and all the Alan Faneca. Okay, so we hired and fired scouts, so we can go through that. That's preseason week number 1. Now we can skip to the next week, and everything's on auto except for advancing the week and obviously scouting. So I think the preseason is only for hiring and firing. I'm learning just as much as you guys are, so I have no idea what to expect from this. We're gonna keep going. I think that the next thing that we get to do is week 1 of the regular season. Yeah, it looks like that's the case. So I didn't mean to hit snapshots. That's my bad. All right, so let's go to the actual week 1 regular season, and then we should be able to get our next new thing. So we choose a draft class. That is, I'm assuming, our next thing. So we're just gonna keep the auto-generated guys. It doesn't really matter. This isn't gonna matter at all. So now we have region breakdowns, which is the big thing this year. We have a national scout, we have a west, a central, a northeast, and a southeast. And when you have your national scout, you want to make sure that your national scout is the best scout you can have, because you're going to have the best opportunities to get the highest rated players and find the highest rated players if you have your national scout as a tier 3. And so since TJ Houshmandzadeh is my national scout, I'm going to have a 10% efficiency boost when scouting wide receivers nationally. So that is the benefit of having your national scout be a wide receiver. So then you're gonna know a lot more about wide receivers. So if we go into, let's say we go into the West. The West region's best player is this cornerback, Earl Best from Colorado. So You can go in, you can select the guy, you can take a look at his player notes. So he's always looking to intercept passes. The player notes are basically little keys to know their traits. So his motor is always running hot, which means he has a high motor. His trait's gonna most likely be high motor. He often looks to rip the ball away, so he's gonna have that strip trait. He's known to attract flags, so he's gonna be a little bit more undisciplined when he's on the field. So you got to take that into account as well. We already know that he's got B man coverage, so you've got all this new information that adds to the immersion factor. And this physical attributes are displayed in several 7-word range. From best to worst, they are elite equals the best, and then so on and so forth, and poor equals worst. So there's an example over here. Our corner with 80 man coverage will have an A MCV. So we know that's a baseline for us to judge the rest of these guys' attributes. So 80 man coverage equals A. So then anything, I'm probably assuming 85 and up is A+. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe 90 and above is A+. I don't know. But we can take a look at some of these guys, and obviously if you hit triangle, you can add them to favorite. If you like what they are, you can obviously take them back off. But Alani WILCOX, a right guard, he attracts flags, and he's got a high motor, so he's undisciplined as well. But then you can obviously go back out, and then we can go nationally to see all the best players in the country. This Earl Best guy is the 4th ranked player in the country behind 3 other quarterbacks. So if we take a look at this Eli North guy from Tennessee, he's never seen a window he won't throw into. He has beautiful spirals. He's quick to throw at the slightest pressure, which means he's got trigger happy. Will break the pocket occasionally to throw fast, flick of the wrist throwing motion. So he's got that kind of flick of the wrist, kind of like Kyler Murray kind of throw release. He knows when to throw the ball away, so he's got a good sense of pressure. Although he's quick to throw when he does that. But then we move to his physicals. He's a very slow quarterback. He's got great to elite throw power. His skills, we don't know anything besides play action is an A. So Eli North doesn't really look like that great of a quarterback. If we take a look at David Costanzo, he is quick to take the check down. He's very antsy in the pocket. Will break the pocket occasionally. League average release time throwing, so that's not the greatest. He's got good to great in mainly everything physically, and he's got A trucking, so he's more of a physical, speedy guy out of Michigan. Then we got Luke Carmichael from Clemson. He's got a slow and elongated throwing motion, so that might not be that great of a trait. You gotta take into account all these different things. His physicals are not that great; they're pretty average. But he's got throw accuracy mid at an A. So now that we can select all these, we can see all these projections. If we go to wide receiver, once we start simulating a little bit more, we're going to know more about these guys because our national scout, TJ Houshmandzadeh, is a wide receiver scout. So he's going to give us that little bit of a boost. So this guy suffers from concentration drops, exceptional body control on the sidelines. He fights for every single inch. This is the kind of guy that you want. He's great to elite in everything except for changing direction. So this guy looks actually pretty studly. I like this guy. What's his name? Brandon Boyd. I'm going to add him to the favorites, and we're also going to add that corner to the favorites because I think he's pretty good as well. Earl Best. We'll take a look at this guy, Reggie Johnson. He's solid to great and everything. He's got D injury, which is not what you want to see, so maybe he's not the guy. But now that we know kind of little individual things, and you guys can go in depth with all this stuff. As you can see, like for a tier 1 scout, we only have a 2% efficiency boost when scouting middle linebackers. So obviously you want to get those tiers up so you have more of a boost, and it'll tell you all the different top prospects from that specific region. And then when you get to nationally, obviously it's the top 5 guys, and then it'll tell you the strengths of those divisions or those regions. So the strengths in the Northeast are cornerbacks, wide receivers, and halfbacks. So if you want to get a scout, you're going to want to get a scout that is an expertise in one of those 3 positions, so you have a better chance of scouting very well on those 3 positions. You don't want to get one that scouts right defensive ends or tackles or guards, because they're not going to, the region doesn't have that. They're not very good in that. So if we take a look at that, we can not go to scouts. We can go back to prospects, and we can take a quick look at this this LAMONT Irvin guy. He is always looking for the massive hit, so that means he's got big hitter traits. He maintained poise at a catch point, his high motor. He's always looking to rip the ball out. He avoids getting flagged. This guy looks like a stud. He's got great to elite on a lot of things. So this guy looks pretty good. He's got aim awareness, which is going to boost his overall. That guy looks pretty solid. And now if we simulate the next week, we can find out what the next thing is. Oh, we also have scout college players. So we actually did that already. So I didn't realize that was all in the same thing. So now we can go to next week, and I'm not sure what next. I have no idea what is next because I don't remember Bengals video. So we have regional focus scouting. Assign your regional scout a position to focus their evaluation efforts on. Choose regional scouting focus. Okay, so this is perfect. We get to go more in depth. So if we go with the West, or maybe we go with, let's go nationally. Not the Southeast. Let's go nationally. We go nationally with TJ Houshmandzadeh. We can select a player. So if I go to wide receiver, since he's a, and you can already see movement in the thing. So Brandon Boyd, the guy that we were focusing on, who was the #1 ranked guy, he's now down to 4th. So that doesn't always mean that they're going to be busts, but it doesn't help because it could mean it's not always going to be a bad thing. Basically, it could mean that these guys are not in favor with other teams, which means you could get a steal in the draft. That's also what that means. So if we take a look at TAVARRES Butler, we could also take a look at. I didn't mean to do that. We could also take a look at his physicals, which are pretty good. His skills are as good as I guess they could be. If we take a look in the West region, Earl Best is still the #1 player in the West. So I'm not sure what we do here, though. It says that we needed to go to a region. Oh, I see it. Never mind. I see it. That's my bad. It's above me. Well, at least above me on your screen. So if we go to that, we can select position focus with triangle. I didn't even notice that at first. So let's say we want to focus on the West region. So I'm going to press triangle. I'm going to select the focus, and we are going to focus on corners because Earl Best is the best corner available. So we are going to focus on corners. So now Marvin Hammond, who was defensive tackle, actually, can I change that? We're going to change that to defensive tackle because he is a defensive tackle efficiency, so we're going to change that to defensive tackles. So you can obviously fire these guys midway through the season. You can hire and fire as you want. So if you didn't want Marvin Hammond or whoever you have as your scout in this region, you could fire him at will. Like, you don't need to. It doesn't matter about money or anything. So we can send Victor Medina at corner. We can send him because he's a scout there. Middle linebacker for Pedro Sanchez. We'll set the focus on that. And Southeast, we can set the focus on left guard. So I know these aren't the strengths at these different regions, but we're just going with what our scouts have as their expertise. So now that we've set that, we can skip to the next week. And you can probably already tell that this is a lot different than how it used to be. So I'm not saying that's a good thing, but this is very, very different. And now we have mock draft #1. So week 3, you get mock draft #1. And as of right now, Eli North is projected to go #1 in the draft. We can't see mock draft 2 and so on because they're not out yet. Earl Best is projected to be the 4th pick to the Eagles. We are projected, the Patriots are projected to get this Jamison Manning guy from Ohio State, who is a running back. His physicals are pretty good in a lot of things, so that's good. But you can go through here. These are subject to change. Obviously, people will go up and down depending on how they simulate through the season, through the college season. Now that we know the mock draft, we can go to the next week and keep going. We're 2-0 in the season, by the way, so the Patriots are killing it. But now that we know that, we can go to scout college players, and we can just keep looking at. You can take a look at the mock draft whenever you want. We can see if anybody's made any moves this year or this first week. We can always edit players. If you just hit L3, you can always edit the players. It'll probably hurt you if you edit the players later in the season, because then you gotta learn the different names. I don't know. Maybe it won't hurt you. I don't think it matters, to be honest with you. But let's say we wanted to fire Pedro Sanchez. I don't know. Let's say we wanted to hire. Actually, let me take a quick look at the region breakdown. Let me take a quick look at the region breakdown. So the best position. Oh, I don't know if we can focus. We can change. Oh, we can't change the focus position. So we'll just leave it. I was gonna fire him and get a corner, but it's okay. So let's keep going, moving forward. We're 3-0, by the way, so we're probably gonna lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But that doesn't matter. Yeah, we lost 45-7, really. So I think the next time that we get an update on the players is week 11. But oh, we have a GM meeting prospect spotlight. So we may want to take a deeper look at safety ANTWAN Hopkins. He's been standing out all in terms of football IQ. Okay, so ANTWAN Hopkins might be a nice little player to get. Now, that doesn't always mean that ANTWAN Hopkins is going to have a development trait or he's not going to be like a studly player, but he is somebody of note. So where is he? ANTWAN Hopkins. He's projected the 6th best safety in the draft, round 2 to 3 right now. Oh, and by the way, we already saw some movement as Eli North fell down the board to number 2 because David Costanzo moved up. So we're already seeing some fluctuations. So let's take a look at this ANTWAN Hopkins guy. He always looks for the massive hit, always looking to intercept passes. He's got a high motor. He avoids getting flagged, and he often looks to rip the ball out. So he's got all the traits that you want. He's got B tackling. He's pretty decent physically. His speed is not that great, which is something you'd want out of a safety. But he's got good strength. He's looking pretty solid. He's got B catching and B tackling. So this guy looks like kind of a stud. So we'll add him to the favorites just in case. And then we keep moving forward. So you guys want to keep a lookout for different little spotlights, I guess, to keep some players. And also, we have the news, which is the draft. There's stories that are going to be affecting where players are put in the mock drafts and stuff. It's not going to affect their development traits. If just because somebody has a story on the news section doesn't mean that automatically means they have a hidden development trait. So just be on the lookout for that as well. So if we move forward to the next week, I don't know if I think week 11 is the next week we get something. Oh, we lost to the Cowboys. So we have a free agent fit. We don't need to look at that because we're not caring about the actual season. We're just looking at in terms of the prospects. And now it looks like we are going to mock draft number 2. So we can start to learn even more about these players as we go. We're 3-4. We lost to the Jets. Come on, Patriots. All right. So David Costanzo has cemented himself, it seems like, as the number 1 pick. Eli North is down to 2. We have probably moved up the board a little bit here. Yeah, we're up to 17. Looks like we were projected to take that safety. So that's pretty cool. And Earl Best has stayed at number 4. Luke Carmichael's still at 3. The Titans have the number 1 projected pick. So if we go back here, you can go through each mock draft and compare where people fell. So I know it tells you where people fell, but you can. This guy jumped up 3. TAVARRES BUTLER. That guy had a story on the news section. He seems to be a pretty decent guy. He's got decent physicals. He looks pretty solid. He's got B spin move, B release, D catching though. For a wide receiver, he might be more of a running back, I guess. And oh, one thing I didn't mention yet, these draft classes or these scouting things give you more ability to learn about the guys in terms of changing their position. So just like I saw with TAVARRES BUTLER, he had D catching. For a wide receiver that's going to go probably top 10, you don't want to draft a guy with D catching. So maybe he's more suited to be a running back because he's got better change in direction, he's got better speed, he's got better, maybe he's got decent ball carrying, I don't know, but D catching for a wide receiver, you don't want that. So you might be able to change him, and he might be better suited as a different position, maybe as a running back. So that's the second mock draft. Now we can go to, there was one more thing on here that we had to take a look at. And it was, I thought it was regional scouts. Was there not a, hold on, let me go back and check this real quick. I thought there was something with regional scouts. Regional breakdown. Yeah, we can position focus TJ Houshmandzadeh. So we'll position focus him for wide receivers because he is a wide receiver scout. You don't want to forget to do that. And you don't have to sign TJ Houshmandzadeh as your regional scout. I just did that for the purposes of this video. So as we move forward here on week number 8, we finally got a win, which is good. We keep on simulating to, I think it's week 11 is the next time that we get something pretty crazy. I may be wrong. But, ooh, we got another win against Carolina. Patriots coming on strong here. But as we move forward, we have short week. We have scouting focus player. Here we go. So read the results your scouts compiled from in-person observations, practice, and in-game action. So we can choose a focus player. So David Costanzo seems to be the #1 guy, but I want to take a look at this Earl Best guy. We can choose up to 3 guys. I want to take a look at Earl Best. I want to take a look at that wide receiver, TAVARRES Butler, and I want to take a look at that safety, ANTWAN Hopkins. We're going to make those guys our 3 focus players. We're going to continue scouting those guys, and we want to super focus those guys so that we can learn as much as possible with those players. So let's keep on moving. We play in the Falcons, week 11. Hopefully it's a W. It is. All right, so we can scout more college players. We don't really need to at this point. We can keep on moving. Week 12 is simulated. We win against the Titans. Are we in the playoffs? 7-5, we should be. We are. We're the 3 seed. All right, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we are the 3 seed or not because we need to keep on moving. Is there any more draft stories, though? It looks like Virginia Tech middle linebacker Tremaine Charles out for the season with an injury. So that is not what you want to see. You don't want to see anybody get injured. That sucks. So we'll have to stay away from him because he's probably got very low injury rating. He's probably got like D or lower. So if we keep moving on here, we lost to Buffalo, which is not good because now Buffalo took the lead in the division. We need to win next game against the Colts. But if we take another look at the scouting players, taking a look at the prospects, let me see. We're at 40% on these guys. We have yet to find anybody else out as much. But as you can see, wide receivers, we have 80% completion. Because remember, we got that boost from having our national scout be a wide receiver coach, or wide receiver scout. So we know 80% on all these wide receivers. So you gotta, whatever position you need the most in the draft this year, or the year that you're doing it, you need to make sure that your regional scout is that position because you'll get that extra boost to be able to scout. So if you need corners, like if you want to draft 2 or 3 corners in this draft, you want to make sure that your national scout is a cornerback tier 3 expert because then he'll give you the best boost possible and you'll get 80% completion. So as we move forward here, we'll take a more in-depth look at some of those picks a little bit later, but we need to move forward here in this season. As we come closer to the end of the year, we beat the Colts, which is big. We got a big game against the Bills that we're going to sim past. Hopefully we can take, this is probably for the division. Whoever wins this game is going to win the AFC East, and we won it. So hey, look at that. That's big time dubs right there. Although we need to win this game against the Jaguars to clinch the division, I would assume. And we lost it. So now this game is for the division. That's not good. But as we move forward here, we are in week 17 now. I want to take a look. Earl Best has moved up. He is now the 3rd best player in this draft. Or at least projected to be the 3rd best player in this draft. I want to take a look at TAVARRES Butler. He's 80% done. He's a deep threat archetype wide receiver, 22 years old. He's got decent stats and everything. We know his ball carrying vision. We know his awareness, his deep route running. See, this is what I'm talking about. His ball carrying vision is an A, but his catching is a D. So he's probably, and his carrying's a B. So he's probably more suited to be a running back. So TAVARRES Butler looking like a running back. But if we take a look at Leon Mooney, Leon Mooney is pretty decent at everything. He's got great to elite speed. He's got C catching. So where's the receivers with like the great catching? Greg Thorne, does he have good catching? I want a receiver that's got actual good catching. He's got C catching as well. Is there no receiver that's got A catching? Like, what are we talking about here? He's got D catching. Okay, all these wide receivers suck, apparently. Nobody has good catching. But now that we have gotten to week 18, we can skip to the playoffs. Hopefully we are the division winner. And we lost to the Dolphins, so we are not even in the playoffs? Wow, we lost to the Dolphins and didn't even make the playoffs, so that sucks. I didn't think that was going to happen. But we can simulate to next week and keep looking forward. It doesn't really matter if we're not in the playoffs because we get a better pick that way. And let's keep on going. I don't think there's anything else that we need to do until after, or until free agency period week 1 when we find out the draft combine stuff. So the Pro Bowl, we don't care about the Pro Bowl. Tom Brady looks like he's in the Pro Bowl. We don't care about the Pro Bowl. We'll skip forward. It's the Packers and the Browns in the Super Bowl. Good for them. I bet the Packers lose to the Browns because the EA loves the Browns, and the Browns killed them. That's not realistic at all. But let's keep going. We got to get to free agency period week 1. Oh, we have mock draft number 3. Here we go. We get to see mock draft number 3 on the board here. Take a look at where some of these guys have moved. We have seen David Costanzo keep his spot as the best quarterback in this class. Earl Best is now 3rd. Eli North keeps dropping, so Eli North is probably not a guy that you wanna take. He has bad acceleration. He's got great throw power, but other than that, this guy does not look that good. I can see why he's falling. But how is our guy doing? TAVARRES Butler is the 8th best prospect. And it doesn't matter that these guys are falling. Like, they have us taking Tremaine Charles. I think he's the guy that got injured, right? He's the middle linebacker that got injured. But it doesn't matter that these guys are falling because that doesn't always, like I said earlier, it doesn't necessarily always mean that they're going to be a bust. So you might just be getting a steal because players or teams are not interested in them. So we take a look at the mock draft number 3, and then we go to free agency period week 1 where we get to our next big thing, the combine results. This is huge. We get to look at the combine results. So if we take a look at David Costanzo, who's projected to be the number 1 player, his combine, he ran a 4.67. He's got elite throw power, and this is where you're going to find out their ratings are going to be solidified. So he's got elite throw power, which means his throw power is probably an A, even though it doesn't tell us. If we take a look at Earl Best, I'm very curious to see what his combine looks like. He ran a 4.5, so he's a little bit on the slower side, but 4.5 is still crazy fast. He's got great strength, solid speed, good change of direction. He looks like a pretty solid guy, but if we go to wide receiver and we look at TAVARRES Butler, his combine should be pretty good. He ran a 4.340, so he's got elite speed. First, he's the fastest wide receiver in the draft, but like I said, he's probably more suited to be a running back. His skills are starting to open up a little bit more. He is pretty decent at a pretty decent player, but if we go to strong safety and we take a look at our is it ANTWAN Hopkins? It is ANTWAN Hopkins. So he is 4.6 speed. He's got elite strength. He's got marginal speed. Not what you want to see out of a strong safety. I want to take a look at that linebacker that got injured, Tremaine Charles. He was the guy that we were projected to get. He's 4.5 speed. He's got great strength, great change of direction, good acceleration. This guy looks pretty good, but his injury is probably very, very low. Yeah, his injury is an F. His injury is an F. So I don't know if you want to take a guy in the first round that has an injury rating of an F because he got injured for the whole season. So once you get to free agency period 1, you can see their combine grades, and then we keep moving forward to free agency period 2. I think it's free agency period 3 where the next big thing happens. We can see mock draft number 4 here coming up, which is cool because this is the last mock draft before the draft actually occurs, I'm pretty sure. And we get to see their pro day stuff too, so that's big. Oh no, we have one more mock draft before the season's over, or before the draft. So Eli North seems to be the number 4 player in the draft. It seems like this is starting to solidify. You get a little bit of movement as we get further down, but more than likely, once you get into mock draft 4 and 5, there's not going to be a whole lot of fluctuation, not a whole lot of movement. it's basically going to be what it is. And we also get to see their combine grade or their pro day grades. So I definitely am curious to see what Earl Best did at the pro day. He looked a little bit better, but you got to remember, pro days are a lot different than the combine. Pro days are just you're running against brooms chasing you in shorts. So anybody looks good in shorts. So you got to take that into account as well. I am very curious to see what that wide receiver looked like. TAVARRES Butler on his pro day ran a 4.26. This dude is fast. If we take anybody, we're taking TAVARRES Butler. That is for sure. He is a stud. And that doesn't mean he's going to have a hidden development, or that doesn't mean anything. He's just really, really fast. I'm very, very interested in taking him. As we move forward here, though, we have the private workouts where we can select 3 players to target and look at. One of them is going to be that TAVARRES Butler guy. I am going to select TAVARRES Butler. I'm going to select that linebacker, Tremaine Charles, because I'm very curious on him. And I'm not going to select that strong safety. I'm going to select, let's select David Costanzo, and let's put him on that in the private workouts. I'm very curious to see how he plays. So now that you get to Free Agency 3, you get to do all that stuff. You get to do the private workouts, and you only have 3 of them, which does suck. I wish you had at least like a minimum of 5, because in real life, I'm going to be more curious about just 3 players. I'm going to want more private workouts than just 3 players. So that's a little bit sucky that you can only do 3, but it is what it is. Week 5 is, the mock draft comes out, and this is the basic one. You're going to see a little bit of movement at the end. TAVARRES Butler seems to be the 9th best player in the draft. I definitely want to trade up to get him. We have currently the 16th pick. We're going to get Tremaine Charles, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to trade up and get that guy, TAVARRES Butler, just because I'm curious to see what he does. But it's time for the draft. So now that we've gotten through all of that stuff, it's finally time for the NFL draft, and we get to finally see these players. You get one more chance to look before you actually enter the draft. I am going to trade for like a top 5 pick or something, just because I want to make sure that I get that guy. So we're going to trade the 16th overall pick to whoever has like a top 5 pick. The Bengals have a top 5 pick. The football team, the Jets have the 4th pick. So we'll trade for the 4th pick. That's actually very easy to get. I didn't realize it was going to be that easy to get. We'll throw in a 6th because it doesn't really matter. We're not going to be continuing this save. So we'll throw in a 3rd next year, and they need a right guard. So I'll give them Shaq Mason, no. Right tackle, Trent Brown, left outside linebacker. Center, I don't want to really give up anything. I guess it doesn't matter because we're not going to be playing. So I'll give him Matthew Judon. See if that does it. Trade decline. Okay, so just give him Shaq Mason. Sure, take Shaq Mason off my hands. Over the salary cap, they need to give me a player who makes like $1 million. Give me somebody who's making a lot of money that you don't value. This punter, sure. Give me the punter. You said that. Okay, so they accept that. We have now pick 4 in the draft. We're gonna take that TAVARRES Butler guy, and I want to just trade also for like the pick 6 or something, so I can take another player and just see how we do. Let's trade our 2nd round pick this year, and we trade the 1st overall pick or the 1st round pick next year for like pick 5 or 6. I think the football team had pick 6. So yeah, the football team has pick 6. Let's trade that, get that pick. They should have accepted it. We'll give them my 2nd round pick next year as well, and they should accept that. All right, so we have pick 4 and pick 6 now that we can go into the draft and see what these players look like. So let's start the draft. Start drafting.
Okay, it's the Lions now on the clock.
There is one big change in this draft, or one big change in this new update. If you notice, when we draft this first player, or when we draft our first player, you won't know their overall.
All right,
so
on the clock
yeah,
now,
David Costanzo goes number 1 overall to the Lions. He stays in Michigan, stays in state. That's pretty cool. But we don't know his overall, so we won't know the players' overalls until we get to the draft recap, which I don't know if I like that much, but it is what it is, I guess.
On the clock
Earl
now,
Best
it's the Titans.
goes number 2 also to the Lions. They had the first 2 picks in the draft. Okay. So Earl Best goes,
now,
Luke Carmichael
it's the
goes,
Patriots.
and now we can take both of the players that we want. Let's take TAVARRES BUTLER first. He is a deep 30s, 5'10". This guy looks like a stud. He's got elite speed. We're definitely drafting
All right, next up,
TAVARRES
the
Butler. He
Bengals
has
are
hidden
on the
development, but like I said, we don't know his overall, so I don't know if you like that or not. He's got 90 acceleration, 94 agility, 94 change of direction, 96 speed. He definitely looks like a running back. He's got B kick returning. This guy looks like a running back. He's got A run block. Of course he's a running back. This guy is a stud at running back, so he may even be a higher overall at running back. So we took TAVARRES BUTLER out of Washington. We're going to skip to our next pick.
Patriots
Eli
on the
North
clock
goes,
right
and
now.
I want to
Let's see
take
who they
that
have their eye on.
linebacker. I think I want to take that since Earl Best is gone. I was going to take Earl Best, but I want to take that linebacker. I know I probably shouldn't, but I really want to. So let's take
It's
him.
the Saints
He has
now on the
also
clock.
hidden development. He has 88 speed. So this guy's a freak athlete. So the thing that I'm getting from this is it seems like you want to draft athletes more than you want to draft specific guys, because you're not going to get to know a lot of the players in the draft just by the fact that you don't have enough points to scout. Like if we take a look at the draft board, I only have 40% completion on all of these guys except for if they're wide receiver. So like even at 65%, Sean Johnson, we don't know a lot about this guy in terms of his skills. He's got a impact blocking, but we don't know about his run block, his lead block, his finesse. Like we don't know a lot about that stuff even at 65% scouted. So you want to just focus on athletes. I feel like that's the best possible way to go about this, to draft athletes than to draft actual, like, focus on this. And that sucks because I know a lot of people like to look at players' specific traits and look at their specific attributes and draft them based on that for their positions. Like if you want to draft a safety that hits hard or that tackles, or a corner that's great at man coverage, then I know you like to do that, but it just doesn't seem like that's a possibility this time around with this update. So if we take a look at the guys that we drafted, TAVARRES BUTLER is a 76 overall, and Tremaine Charles is a 75. What's his injury rating at? He has an F injury rating. What is it at? I'm very curious to see what it's at. His injury rating is a 78. How is that an F? TAVARRES BUTLER has a 79. Whatever. I don't know. But it doesn't look like we drafted very well in the simulation, but that doesn't matter. And if you take a look at the rest of the NFL, the highest rated player in the draft was Earl Best. So there was 4 78s. It was Earl Best, it was Eric Mitchell, Felix Porter, and Darius Killings. So I wanted to take Earl Best, but he got drafted in 2nd overall. So we actually ended up with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th player in the draft, and probably like the 13th or 14th player in the draft. So that's okay. It wasn't that great of a draft. There was pretty decent players at the top half of the thing with overall rating, but there's no like 80 plus overall guy. So I am curious to see what these guys' development traits are. And since we're not going to keep going with this, we can find out what they are. There's no suspense or anything. So let's find out what your trait is. He is star. So TAVARRES BUTLER has star development. What about Tremaine Charles? Does he have star or anything else? Where did he go? I'll just go back to, I probably passed him already. I'll just go back to the Patriots. Tremaine Charles, his hidden development trait is hopefully Superstar X Factor, but I don't know. It might not be. It might not be. It is star as well. So they both have star development. Is there anybody here with Superstar X Factor? Does Earl Best have Superstar X Factor? David Costanzo, what do you have? What's your development trait? David Costanzo, the number 1 pick in the draft, has star. Okay. Earl Best, the number 2 pick in the draft, has, drum roll please, Earl Best has star. Everybody's got star. Is there a single guy with superstar or higher? Carmichael? Does he have it? He has star as well. Everybody's got F and star. Eli North, he was falling down. He's only got normal. Reggie Johnson has hidden development. That is a very disproportionate man. Did you see that? Hold on, we'll take a better look at it. He has Superstar X Factor. There we go. Finally, somebody with Superstar X Factor. This guard, this left guard has Superstar X Factor, so good for him. What's his name again? Reggie Johnson. I think we took a look at him. He's only 69 overall, but he has, look at this, his arms are so tiny compared to his body. His head's so small too. So we finally got our first Superstar X Factor guy. So it's not all star. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. I hope you guys learned a lot. I know I didn't really go in depth in explaining a lot of stuff, but I just wanted to like get through it and show you guys all the steps. If you wanted to go more in depth and learn more, get more information out of it, make sure you go check out Bangle, his video that he put out yesterday. He does a really good job of explaining it all better than I did, but I just wanted to kind of do more of a broad description of this stuff and more of a broad video so that it appeals to more guys, because I know a lot of people get kind of bored and tired of the in-depth stuff. So I did more of a broad spanning video for you guys to enjoy. So I hope you guys did. Smash that like button if you did enjoy it. Hit that notification bell as well. Join the Juice Club, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.